why don't you get all comfortable and sit down on my red velvet couch and we have a little chat? Now it's my time, Pixis. I need to test out Peculiar Charm. Let me be very charming to you, Pixis. Let me really dial in on you. Now you are invulnerable. I am invulnerable to all your attacks. A wondrous, splendiferous box. There we go, Ned. Let's have a look at this now. Let's see what damage it's doing. This is Grandmaster minus 50 level under. Minus 50 under. Look at the damage we're doing with the SMG. That is a chunker. And look at the auto reload. Look at the auto. You don't need shooter loot that much. I mean, you can have it, but we'll discuss that. But look at this chunker. Look at the chunk again against Pixis. He's another one that's not getting paid enough by Bungie because I'm just making a mockery out of him. Look at the chunks. This 1 minute clip or whatever it is enough to tell you need to get this SMG. No matter what class you mean, it doesn't really matter. This video is going to discuss the most adaptive, versatile, legendary primary in the game right now, and you should be chasing for a roll on this kinetic SMG. It is just that good and better than everything else. The weapon in question is the weapon called Peculiar Charm, and it is available via PvP comp. A lot of people have said, I'm not getting Peculiar Charm. Why is that? The reason being is because you need to beat your placement series. It's around 7 or 8 comp matches. You do your placement series. Once the placement series is being done, you start to earn competitive division points. When that happens, the loot pool will open up for Peculiar Charm and you can then get it. So, why would you want to get it? The reason being is because it's a kinetic SMG and it's a new archetype of SMGs called Aggressive Burst, Hard-Hitting 4-Burst Fire. However, it's not just an SMG, it's kind of a pulse rifle as well, and you can use this thing up to 35, maybe sometimes 40 meters. A 40 meter ranged SMG. This is extremely powerful in the game. It's 600 RPM. My particular role is Arrowhead Break, Extended Mag, Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremors. Let's get the elephant out of the room right away though. Technically right now, the absolute god roll of this SMG is Shoot to Loot and Kinetic Tremors. The reason for that is because we have a trait or a artifact mod called Kinetic Synthesis. It reads, sustained kinetic weapon damage and rapid final blows have a chance to generate a unique ammo brick, which is grey in colour by the way. Collecting this brick will grant ammo to the equipped kinetic damage weapons and grant special and heavy ammo progress. However, it also auto-loads the weapon as well. When you pick up a kinetic brick and your kinetic weapon is low on ammo or whatever in the mag, it'll automatically reload. Same goes for other kinetic weapons and also the kinetic sniper that sits in the heavy slot. Okay, but the thing about it is Shoot to Loot works with that kinetic brick and it auto-loads your gun also, making it imperative for just auto-loading. Obviously it's paired nicely with Peacekeepers. However, now this is the distinction, and I don't want you getting this stuff wrong, lads, please. The future-proofed god roll is Attrition Orbs and Kinetic Tremors. The immediate god roll is Shoot to Loot, Kinetic Tremors. But the all-round better roll is Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremors. Because Attrition Orbs is absolutely meta right now. And I still prefer Attrition Orbs over the Shoot to Loot roll. Because the extra dynamic that Attrition Orbs gives to overall combatant gameplay, I value that more than the Shoot to Loot. Because if I am using this SMG, I might be on Peacekeepers anyways. And you can get a fast reload with Peacekeepers anyways. When you just holster it, you get it loaded quickly anyway. After this season, you're going to want the Attrition Orb roll, providing that Bungie doesn't nerf it, and I don't think they will. This is the future-proof roll. I recommend you go for the future-proof roll, because after this season, as I said, the kinetic bricks will go away. They're not long-term. This is not a long-term mod, lads. By the time the new DLC comes out in March or whatever, kinetic synthesis won't be in the game anymore. Okay? So it'll lose its value. Although shoot-to-loot is still strong. I have got a shoot-to-loot role also, but it hasn't got kinetic tremors and what have you. If we talk about other traits quickly, in the first column we do have other traits like the stopping power trait. Obviously got attrition orbs. We've got some other traits, but overwhelmingly it's either shoot-to-loot or attrition orbs. Stopping power seems to be a good trait, but I mean I still value all the other traits over that. In column 2 you've got things like Desperado, kinetic tremors. You've got All-Star. All-Star is a approximately 20% damage bonus on ammo pickup. So that does kind of work well with the bricks, but what you need to understand is it's not just about damage, it's also about stun damage. Kinetic Tremors offers stun damage. It's just more versatile on combatant gameplay to have Kinetic Tremors over a damage bonus that offers no stun damage but only a damage bump in itself. Kinetic Tremors is still better than this trait overall. When we say overall, we're considering all contributing factors to the gun. Okay? So yeah, those are basically the two rules that you want on this SMG. It's actually nice to have extended mag in this. I found that the reload, even though the reload's really low, you still get a half decent reload even without a kinetic loader. So if you run extended mag, you've got a 72 mag. Yeah, that means more orbs, more kinetic tremor procs. Okay, it's undoubtedly, right, the best legendary primary in the game overall. There is a competitor, and M17 Fast Talker with cooling baubles and target lock with Peacekeepers does more damage than this SMG. However, it hasn't got the same range as what Peculiar Charm has. I'm going to show you some combatant gameplay in Grandmaster content, showing you how you can kill enemies from like 25-30 meters away in Grandmasters. See, right now, the problem in Grandmaster content is that for legendary primaries at least, adds are the primaries aren't doing enough damage against red bars. However, this SMG is. That's the thing about it, right? The only thing that competes in other archetypes for similar damage is things like your Samsung Galaxy S10. A surrounded row will still do more damage than this SMG. But I mean, it's a damn hand cannon shotgun. So it is going to. However, they're not very good on barrier champs, we've said this. But I'm saying just for pure damage, these shotgun hand cannons are meta also. But obviously they're limited by range. Peculiar Charm can fight up to 40 meters away and still be successful. And it's good up close. It is basically power crept Multimac. Multimac was the god roll from Sundred Doctrine days, etc. Right? And that came out. Then it didn't get power crept. It hasn't got power crept yet. Although maybe Peculiar Charm has. Then Gunburn came out, which didn't really move the needle enough. Then we got Everburn and Glitz, which I explained to everybody. It's an amazing AR, and I still stand by that it is an amazing endgame auto rifle with attrition orbs, kinetic tremors. However, it's been bested by this SMG. In endgame content, I would rather run Peculiar Charm over the other things. So I'm not really going to do too much tests in the test and all. This one's going to be more combatant gameplay style test, showing you how much damage it does against barrier champions, overload champions, and grandmaster adds. Okay, so rather than sitting in the shooting all, which I'm starting to get tired of doing shooting all tests because people always argue with me when I do that. So let's do a real world combatant test with Peculiar Charm in Grandmaster content -50 under and play with the SMG from range and show you how good it is. More time for action, less time for words. So look at this. I'm fighting from roughly 28 meters away. I'm mounting the red bars on Grandmaster content. Look, let's measure Darcy. 28 meters, I believe. 28, 30 meters. We're playing and we're doing nice damage from a distance with the SMG. It's watching these Vex goblins drink Vex milk. Right? Now I want to see what the damage is like on champ. We are using peacekeepers, but I will tell you, and I want to really hone this down to you. Hunters can use the SMG. Warlocks can use the SMG. You don't have to use peacekeepers with the SMG, lads. However, it is nice to run it with peacekeepers, I must admit. But you don't have to. The SMG is an all-round combatant weapon. Probably the best legendary primary in the game. I'm telling you it. Okay? Okay, for many reasons. There's more to come about this. I'll do some runs with the SMG, of course, after this weekend, though. Okay, so we get a stun there with Darcy. Just look at the damage we're doing here. This is Grandmaster Champ. Stun with Darcy here. Yeah? We're just using Darcy just for the stun. We want to see the raw damage. Look at that raw damage. That's splendiferous raw damage on Barrier Champ. Now it's Overload SMG. So let's check Overload Champion at range. And CQC as well. This is the range test. Yeah, so what's that range? 25 meters or so. Okay, it's got around about a 22 meter effective range for damage. Oh, the Overload is backed up. That's good. Look at this real world organism of this Overload. Helping the test. Because this is what happens in everyday combatant gameplay. We'll jolt with Darcy just to keep him jolted so that we see the damage. Look at how I'm sort of being able to still be quite accurate with the SMG from this range. That is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Now let the Overload regenerate. I'm going to show you CQC damage. Remember, because attrition orbs will heal you and such. I know there's shoot to loot on it. I've explained the shoot to loot situation with this weapon. So there, we're going to go up close. We are on Ball Charge Titan, as I've said. We'll jolt him as well, because we did before with Darcy or whatever. And we can just circle him. Look, he doesn't know what day it is. Grandmaster Overload disrespect. He's not getting paid enough by Bungie for this. He's fed up. This SMG it's amazing. You need to make sure that you grind comp. Whether you like it or hate it, you're going to start to see this SMG everywhere in the game. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.